All right, I think we're recording here. I hope we're recording. I hope this thing works. You people really out there, I mean, we got to do this show. We got to put this together. We got to make this work through the modern technology, and I am a technology idiot. So, all right. Let, let's pretend this is really working, and we'll do this. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna do our show right now. Are you ready? Good evening, listeners. Bob Tagatz here, broadcasting live from the Plywood Room, high atop the beautiful downtown Celebrity Motor Lodge Grand Hotel on enchanting Mackinac Island. Today's show sponsors will be Purina Horse Chow, Schwinn Bicycles, and Reliable Manure Shovels, where their motto is business is always picking up. Oh, anyway. Hey, welcome everybody. We have survived. We did it. We made it. We survived the season of COVID, and we're all still here. And we're all still here because of you guys. Because of you guys. You believed in us. You brought us here. If you have a cocktail in your hand, you lift it up and you toast yourself, because this has been a tough season. We've worked hard to win your trust on our end and make all this stuff work. And thank so many of you for trusting us and coming here. So whatever this is, well, unfortunately, we can't all get together and have the big party like we like to have, because we can't have that many people in the room. So we're doing whatever this is, Zoom. And you guys that know me, I'm a historian. I live in the past. I always say the rent is cheaper. This whole Zoom thing, it's just, I have no idea what's going on, but we're going to try to make it work. Let me tell you a little story. This week, I got a new computer, a brand new computer, much more advanced than my last computer. My last computer, he compared it to an Etch-a-Sketch. Actually, I was getting pretty good at the house and the tree on it. So this very patient IT guy here has been with us many years, Matt Disbro, patiently is helping me make the transition between the one computer to the other computer. And after 1 week with me, he is considering a career change. I believe he's applied at the closed Carry Mart in Sheboygan. So technologically, it's one of the reasons I moved to Mackinac Island. People say, well, what's your level of technological understanding? I'm like, on Mackinac Island, we're still pretty excited about the wheel, for God's sake. So I'm hoping this is working. I'm hoping this whole Zoom thing, and I hope you kind of enjoy it. We'll go over just some fun stuff. I know what you guys really want to hear is challenging guest questions and funny stories. And yep, we're definitely going to get to that. Let's get a few other things. Let's just talk about surviving this season. This hotel as an institution has never, ever closed its doors. In 131 years, we have never closed our doors. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. Through wars, through depressions, through up downs, through turn downs in the economy, recessions, the pandemic of 1918, we survived that as well. And when there was an impossibility that we may not be open this year, to ruin that sterling record, it was amazing. So to open it up, and we, in surviving it, I think we're stronger and we're better than we ever were before. I mean, we're now kind of prepared and ready for anything that can be thrown at us. Stop. It kind of sounds like I'm running for office. And if I'm elected, grand pecan balls and well, never mind. Seriously, thank you guys for coming and supporting us. Part of the challenge of this year, we opened 7 weeks late, so that was kind of tough. We had a shorter season. Understandably, due to the COVID restrictions, we couldn't have our real big conventions. I mean, that's our bread and butter stuff. We lost the biggest of the biggest. We started out treading water, about 40% occupancy. We had some weekends, 60, 70, 80, 90%. I think in the end, the last projection I had about 54% occupancy. And that's hard because, last year we were 99.7. The year before we were 99 point something. So it's tough, but we did it. And how did we do it? Our social guests came in, you friends, you saved us. You came in and rented rooms and trusted us, and you were ready to get out. And we were one of the places you were ready to get out to. And again, I just can't say thank you very much. This is hard. We're in the hospitality business. This is what we do. Not doing it is tough, and doing it, but also equally wanting to do the right thing, to set, the standards and the safety that was required, by law, and to do the right thing. And I think we did that, and a lot of people trusted us. Let's talk about some fun things. Let's talk about enough COVID. Let's talk about some fun stuff. We just finished the Halloween package weekend, which was out of hand. Drew Butterfield, he's director of grounds here. He put on a show down there. Kirby King, he was the mad scientist in the haunted garden down there. It was so successful that I think many children will be in therapy for years trying to work out these issues, from seeing some of the scary stuff, from the maze to the circus to the greenhouse with the mad scientist in there. It was outstanding. The pumpkin carving contest, I got to look at all the pumpkins. There are artists, there are sculptors. There's also some people that could use some psychological help. It would not hurt at all. I'm sure there's groups you can work out some of these issues and necessarily take it out on a pumpkin. I was honored because they asked me to be a judge in the costume contest, which I thought would be, oh, that'll be about an hour. It'll be fun. It'll be very obvious. It was well over 2.5 hours to not only seeing hundreds of people with incredible outfits. And it was everything from fun, fluffy, nice Disney to Dracula and axe murderers and everything kind of in between. We had to choose three winners. Deliberation took quite a bit. There's three of us judges, and Jennifer, Norm, and I, we worked so hard. We think we did well, but we know that everybody that dressed up, everybody that participated was truly a winner. So that was a success. And that brings us into what we're doing right now. Close the Grand Hotel package. Okay, I'm going to be real straight with you right here. When they proposed this years ago, they said, oh, here's what we'll do. We'll open it up and we'll have guests come and assist us in clothing. They'll carry clothing. They'll carry furniture. They'll help us cover things. They'll eat all a year's worth of leftovers and not even complain about it. And I said, this is the dumbest thing, we've ever done. This is who in the world is going to come pay us to help us close the hotel? Well, here we are, and you guys have been coming year after year after year. So again, thank you. It's fun. It's crazy, but it's kind of fun. Let's do some other Grand Hotel stuff in here. What are we doing here? Close the hotel, which was just fun. What improvements have we done in the hotel? We got a new company here. Oh, everybody's all worried about this new company. We're going to lose what Grand Hotel is all about. Please come and witness that they get who we are. They get what this hotel is about. They're working. They understand our guests. They listen to our guests, which is very important. And most importantly, and one of the reasons I'm staying here is to show them why guests come here, what makes Grand Hotel special and authentic. And when you can do that, and you can also improve the hotel, which, there's some improvements and things that have been well overdue, and they're doing it. And I'm very impressed because they could do some nice showboaty improvements on the hotel that, guests would see and hopefully like. But you know what they did first? They took care of employees. We have over 700 employees. Peak season this year, we had, I think, 513. They took care of employees, employee housing. We've got all kinds of housing. We have more beds for employees than we actually do guests. Last year we had 211 more employees than the island has residents. This year we're about even. We had about, I think, 512, 514. The island residents about 511 this year. So we're about even with that. So they took care of the employees because there was such a variety of housing, and some of it needed a little love. And they put, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to put, do some minor little touch-ups and spruce. They put $4 million into employee housing. $4 million they invested. And that's behind the scenes stuff that you don't even see. But for employees, hopefully happy employees lead to happy guests. And hopefully you can kind of see that. Other improvements in the Old Girl, the biggest one that you're going to see for next year is the pool, without question. The pool, wow. I'm a preservationist, let's be real honest, and I'm all about saving old buildings. I think it's the best carbon footprint. It's the right thing to do to preserve your heritage. But every now and then, you've got to find a little balance. You got to find a balance between what works and a viable business, and also what's good for our guests and what's safe. And that pool, let's give you a little background on the pool here. I'm skipping around a little bit, but you guys know me, I always do that. The pool was built in 1920. Many people think the pool was built for the Esther Williams film that was filmed here in 1946. They shot it in the summer, they shot it in the winter, released in 47. And that film, we named the pool the Esther Williams pool because we were literally recovering. We had still not made money since World War II. We were recovering. We truthfully had no earthly idea how popular Hollywood was and the following that Esther Williams had. Our phones, when that film came out, literally rang off the hook. Everybody associates us with Somewhere in Time, and it certainly made a huge impact. I've been here 25 years. I've never had one day when people didn't ask me something about the movie. But this time for keeps, her following, it hit all at once. Somewhere in Time built up slowly. Everybody called. Is this the hotel where Esther Williams did the film? Is that the pool? Can we swim in the pool? Is that the same water that Esther Williams swam in? They told me stories of people would just run in and steal a little vial of water just to have Esther Williams water with them, which is insane. But we named it that. It was named something else before that. It was built in 1920. And when they built it, people laughed at us. I got an article, a wonderful article sent to me by Phil Porter. Phil Porter just retired as the head of Mackinac State Historic Parks. He always gives me wonderful information. He sent me a little article. The pool was built in 1920, and it was from the Detroit paper, and they were kind of making fun of us because at this period of time, there's really no outdoor heated pools. and we were next to a lake, and no one built pools next to a lake. So this is exactly what the article said in the Detroit paper in 1920. It said, 1,000 barrels of concrete have been sent to Mackinac Island to construct a pool for the wealthy guests of Grand Hotel in case the Great Lakes runs dry. So I just love that. We'll promote anything here. We're shameless. We need to be. The original pool, the builders of our pool built an identical pool in Traverse City. That's 106 miles south of here. And so we named it Paul Bunyan's footprint, that Paul Bunyan stepped in Traverse City, then he stepped here on his way north. So when they're going to do the pool, as a historian, what scared me the most, maybe it's not going to be the Esther Williams swimming pool. Yep, it's going to keep the Esther Williams swimming pool. And here's the thing that's needed some improvement. That pool's been leaking and repairs on it. They're going to redo the pool, keep it the Esther Williams swimming pool. It'll be the same size, be a little shallower. They're going to have a zero entrance, so you just kind of walk right into it. You won't need a ladder. It'll go to about 4 feet, be an infinity pool, be the same size. And then they're going to build a second pool. There's going to be an adult pool connected to it. There'll be a little terraced area where they're going to have cabanas, so you can rent a cabana there and have a little private area by the pool. I think they're considering doing some massages or offering massage services in the cabanas, which is one thing I will just frankly say I don't go for. I'm a Lutheran. We don't even like to stand too close to each other, so massages are out. I actually got a certificate for a free massage, and they sent me into this little room, and they said, well, you undressed to your comfort level, and I put on some corduroys and a flannel shirt. But that's beside the point. A lot of people like that. The pool house itself, again, I'm a preservationist. You save those buildings. That thing had history, but it really had no architectural features that added to the integral history of the pool area. And to be real frank with you, it was in just rough shape. You guys know the pool house. It was a little rough, a little moldy, a little dirty, a little dark, and the workout room in there need major improvements. So they're saving the original lobby to it. The rest of it they've torn down, and they're going to rebuild it. And there'll be a shop down there. There'll be a little snack area, a little food service down there. And then the workout room. Workout room is going to be completely redone with new equipment in there. So this is, again, something that has been very long overdue, and it's finding that balance, keeping your historical charm and the Esther Williams swimming pool and honoring the past, but offering something modern and efficient. And hopefully you'll guys see that it's a really good thing. We did some other fun stuff here. The gardens and grounds look good, and they were a challenge during COVID. I mean, they were a real challenge during COVID. We opened late, and so we ordered, massive amounts of flowers and plants and bedding plants. And because we opened late, all the retailers were selling the plants. Everybody was staying home, and when they were staying home in quarantine, they started gardening. So to get the volume of plants that we needed was truly amazing. Another hard thing is when we close right now, we're planting 40,000 tulip bulbs. So that's the first bloom in the spring. Tulips come up, daffodils come up about a week later, and it's beyond impressive. So last year they planted 40,000 tulip bulbs, and this year we were closed. We were under quarantine. So I came up and I enjoyed these, while being quarantined, these beautiful tulips out there, and the guests didn't get to see them. Drew Butterfield, the head of grounds, has for the, I think, third year in a row done the secret garden with a river. He does a river of blue flowers. They're grape hyacinths, and they're lined on either side with daffodils. He did a little bridge last year. This year he did he had a little diagram or a map of Michigan done in separate colors. And it's a little river. And if you stand in the right spot, you're shooting down this incredible river of nothing but flowers. And up behind it is the Grand Hotel. You got to kind of find it. And for that total, that's another 70,000 something tulip bulbs. He had to order 93,000 tulip bulbs, and it was bugging him, because we've never ordered 100,000 tulip bulbs, and we were at 97 or 93,000. And he said just last week, he said, you know what? I've just ordered another 7,000 tulip bulbs, so we can say that we had 100,000 tulip bulbs planting. And so hopefully next year, all things that go well, we do the right thing. We open the beginning of the season, and you'll see a spectacular opening to it. Other things were hard to get to too. James LaRocca in beverage was telling me just booze, getting the different kinds of booze and the liquors and imports, getting them into the country. I mean, an unbelievable challenge. We did some good things here this year too. We raised a little bit of money for some charities. And there were charities that not only did we raise money, but it was fun things. And the haunted maze down there and the haunted garden we had a little challenge, and we raised some money down there for charity. This year we had the 5th annual duck race, and this is for employees. It is so fun. Some Islanders participate too, I should say. Little bitty rubber ducks, just like you got in your bathtub. We have that creek in the middle of our golf course, and I think it was 200 something ducks up there. We corral them up there in a pond, open it up, and they race down to the lower pond. And we raised a bunch of money, again, to be donated. A little later in the season, we had an ice cream social to raise money for charity. We partnered with Hudsonville Ice Cream. That's the ice cream that we sell here. And we raised a bunch of money. This money goes to Give Kids the World. That's the hotel's charity. And for Give Kids the World, we raised a little over $8,000 in these three events here. The big fundraiser on the island every year is the medical center. And the medical center is so important during the summer when we have, 10,000 extra people on the island. In the winter, 500 residents here. And then COVID. They had to put up a separate trailer for testing for COVID. Everybody here on the island to keep people safe. So there was incredible expenditures. So we could not do our auction. We do a live auction and a silent auction. It's a picnic. It's sponsored by Grand Hotel. It's done in the hotel in the evening. And it is one of the real highlights, a social event, a social center of the season. And due to COVID, we couldn't do it. So we did what we're kind of doing here, this whole virtual business. So we had a virtual auction online and they raised some money. And then a wonderful donor here on the island put up a financial challenge, knowing that it was going to be a challenging year, a $50,000 matching challenge that if the city and the island raised $50,000, match it, making $100,000. It was an anonymous donor, Dan Musser, but it was an anonymous donor, and they raised it 100 grand, and then they raised another 50 grand. So despite COVID, we raised $150,000 for the medical center this year, which was pretty darn amazing. Restaurants. During COVID, occupancy was down, but restaurants were booming. We had a lot of day visitors, and we went to incredible lengths to keep our restaurants safe. Two of our restaurants had outdoor dining that worked just beautifully. At the Gatehouse broke all kinds of records this season, indoor, outdoor dining, day visitors, and the Woods Restaurant, my personal favorite here on the island. The Woods Restaurant broke an all-time night for a single night. They served over 300 meals, and they served inside. They served outside on the patio as well. So social media was pretty good to us. I'm reading here, we had Instagram, whatever that is. We had Instagrams. We had over 50,000 followers on that. We had 160,000 followers on Facebook. The media was pretty good too this year. We had several good articles published. The media news, NBC was here, MSNBC was here as well. 7 and 9 and 10 News was here. A lot of it was the COVID, and they were going to hotels as we reopened to see, how we were doing it, how we were making the criteria, and I think we set a pretty high standard here as well. Several good magazines. Departure Magazine, one of the best articles I'd read on the hotel in quite a while. Then we won some awards. Travel and Leisure rated us one of the 10 top resorts in the Midwest. Condé Nast, which is a tough list to get on, top 40 resorts in the Midwest. This is fun. The Island Magazine, about time this happened. Island Magazine rated the Gatehouse Trapper Burger, our hamburger, feature burger down there, the best burger in any resort hotel, so you can't beat that. Margaret's Garden, our floral shop for all these years, won Retailer of the Year by the Great Lakes Floral Association. Main Dining Room, this is good. 4th year in a row, Wine Spectre Magazine, top award for excellence for the wine selection and service in there. So few good things going on here. We talked about the pool. Well, what's more serious than the pool than bathrooms? Next year, that's one thing you're going to notice. One thing guests are going to notice. We have 397 rooms, and we are there. It's an ambitious thing, but the plan is to renovate and redo 300 bathrooms. Give you a little history of bathrooms. You know, I'm this story, and I got to do it. I'm sorry. When we originally opened in 1887, the hotel had no bathrooms, 0 bathrooms whatsoever. It wasn't until the late 1960s, early 1970s that we got private bathrooms in all the rooms. One thing we're finding, and again, we've got to find that balance of tradition, but this year in particular, because the height of cleanliness, the height of sanitation that we have to go through, it would certainly be nice to have a much more user-friendly, both for the guest as well as cleaning and sanitation. Went and previewed the 2 bathrooms, the samples that they had done here in the hotel. Excellent, long needed, not messing with the guest experience, improving the guest experience. So, sometimes you got to make a little compromise. You got to have patience with us. And when you see the outcome, I think you'll be pretty impressed. So, well, why you guys listen to this? You listen to this because you want challenging guest questions. So I'm going to give you a few. First, I have to tell you the absolute funniest story. 2 ladies, wonderful ladies, mature ladies had come. They were traveling together, and they had come to the hotel. And they were like 16-year-old girls. They were so excited to be here. They'd been quarantined together and they needed to get out. And they said of all the destinations that they could have chosen, they said the one place, if they were going to go out and do the right thing, they said Grand Hotel is going to take care of them. We're going to Grand Hotel. So they come to Grand Hotel. One of the ladies had a brother who had traveled during this whole COVID mess, and he had given her a whole list of things to make sure that she looked for in the hotel. And these were the nicest ladies. They check in. They came to talk to me at my lecture. They were complimenting on how we handled the situation. So they check into their room and they look at the list from the brother, and the brother says, whatever you do, when you go to a hotel room, make sure that the glasses in the bathroom are individually wrapped in plastic. And our glasses are sparkling clean and they're in there, but they're not wrapped in plastic. So the two ladies, everything went well. They kind of helped double sanitize their room themselves. And they called down. I think they started with the front desk and then they went to the bell stand and they said, we would just like 2 glasses that are sealed in plastic for our bathroom. We were told that's the one thing that we need to do that we have not done to allay our fears of traveling during this time. So we said, well, how hard could that be? We're Grand Hotel. So we started looking for 2 individually wrapped glasses, and there was no such thing. We went to the kitchen, we went to the supply room, they went everywhere. They went to our restaurants, they went to our outlets. We just needed 2 individually wrapped glasses. And the ladies made a couple more calls. It was a little less than an hour. There was a knock on the door, and with the knock on the door, there was a bellman. And the only thing he could do was find a sleeve of 100 cups sealed in plastic from our storeroom. And the lady says, I only need 2. And the bellman says, you have to take all of them. So she says, I took this long sleeve of 100 cups. We used 2 cups. And I just want to compliment you on going to great lengths to meeting our request. And I also would like you to know that there's 98 cups up in the room to be picked up there, which of course we could not use because we're doing the right thing. So that was, to me, that was the best story of service this year that kind of worked out good in this tough time here as well. So you guys want challenging guest questions, and I say the same thing every year. You know, when you're in the hospitality business, you're in the hospitality business, and there are no dumb questions. When a guest asks you a question, it's legitimate. You know, and I you can get arrogant about it and say, how could they not know that? But I travel myself a little bit, and you go there, just the simplest thing, is you're not on terra firma that you're familiar with. So all questions are legitimate, and we're Grand Hotel, and our guests, have high expectations. So we do our best to answer all the questions, even the challenging questions, and not make fun or belittle the guest in any way, to answer them with the most decorum we possibly can. Because here's what I always tell people: there are no dumb guest questions, period. There's no dumb, but some. Oh God, some are so close. So we answer them again with all that composure and decorum, give you a good answer, send you on your way, hopefully answering the very best we can. And then we write down the question and make fun of you later. And that's what this is about. So I have people today that come to me and say, I'm afraid to ask you a question because I don't want to make that damn list. So let me give you a few of the all-time favorites here, and then I'm going to answer some questions that you guys sent in. Challenging guest questions, number 1, and this is on my all-time favorite. This was so popular. This is years ago, and I've got asked it more than once. I ended up, I don't know if you guys remember Paul Harvey and his radio show. I was on Paul Harvey, the radio show, with this question because he was asking concierges around the country their single most challenging question. This is it. Does the water go all the way around the island? I just love that. And if I would have been sharp, I would have said, no, it's gravy on the Canadian side. The Canadians love gravy. Biking around the island, how far is it? It's 8.2 miles, which would be shorter if we went to the right or the left. Well, it's about no dumb questions. Do the horses still run when the power's out? Oh, that's good. Yep, that's not what they run on. On the phone to Mackinac Island, they're calling up here, thinking about coming up here, asking questions, transfer to the concierge desk. Well, we just have one question. Is Mackinac Island located near a lake? I'm like, yeah, pretty close to a lake. Sometimes it's hard to make people happy. We get this has happened many, many times. Call down from the room after check-in. We are so disappointed we didn't get an ocean view room. I calculated it's about 1,280 miles to see the ocean from any of our rooms here. State Park does a beautiful job maintaining this hotel. Sometimes we wish. Is the Grand Luncheon Buffet as good as the one at Denny's? I don't know, but I sure hope so. And then some complaints are just kind of hard to figure out. This guy calls down, just checked in. He goes, my room, it's too damn big. What am I going to do with all this space? No wonder you people charge so much. So how do you answer that one? But of all the comments you ever get in the hotel, kids are the absolute best. I mean, they're completely honest and they have no filter. Family walking through the hotel and they're pointing out all the beautiful things inside this hotel. And this just precious little girl looks up at her parents and said, yeah, this is all nice, but can we go out and watch the horses pee some more? People always want to know, if you want to know the most economical fun you can have on this island, go down to the Shepherd Dock, wait for the boat come in, and then you watch a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old kid see a horse pee for the first time. I mean, they know it's bad, but it's just fascinating by them. So kids are the best here. Let's see. Could we get some brochures on this hospital? We gave them some brochures on it. Do you miss the United States working here? And when we used to have payphones, people would ask all the time, do these payphones take American money? I'm like, no. This is a classic one. Here's a piece of history. Is piracy still a problem on the Great Lakes? Not ever, actually. This is a good one. This is right up my alley here. Can you give me directions to the revolving bar on the roof? And I'm like, well, go up there and have 3 double scotches and just hang on. That's the best I could tell you. Can I get a horse and carriage tour of the Mackinac Bridge? Well, if you have a horse that can tread water and use a snorkel, possibly. This is good. Some of the complaints you just can't figure out. Maybe we're advertising stuff wrong. 2 guests talking to each other said, whatever you do, don't take the garden tour. It's just a bunch of plants, flowers, and bushes. I don't know what they expected, but on the phone, calling from the wonderful state of Wisconsin. Couple were getting all the information coming here for the first time, gave them the dress code. They go, well, we're from Wisconsin, so we don't have a coat and tie. So I think they got a coat and tie. It was good. We lent them one, if nothing else. This was good. In what lake do you catch the smoked fish? It's okay. It's okay. There are no dumb questions whatsoever. On the phone from Detroit. And this is an old one, and I love this. A guy from Detroit, and he called up here and asked a bunch of questions. So somehow he got transferred to me. Now, when you get to me, I'll answer any question I can, but our rates, we have so many rates and so many packages, so many good deals and so many specials and so many internet stuff that I never quote a price per room, because I guarantee it, no matter what I say, I'm going to be in the wrong direction. So we got people, reservations will gladly take care of that. So this guy, in the middle of this, he goes, look, you can just give me an idea what rooms. I said, well, I really don't. I can transfer. No, I don't want to be transferred again. Just give me kind of an idea, just a rough idea what the room rates are. So I gave him what I thought was a pretty modest, hopefully a hook that he's going to take action and make a reservation here. There was this long pause on the phone, and just the best comment I ever heard, the best description of our hotel. He went, ooh-wee. He goes, you must be the pimp daddy of hotels on that island. So I've been working with a new company to change our logo from Grand Hotel, America's Summer Place, to ooh-wee, you must be the pimp daddy of hotels on that island. Anyway, this is just a personal favorite. This is just a personal favorite. And I hear this every year, and this year, even in a short season, I heard this one time. Down in admissions, we charge a $10 fee to enter the hotel for non-guests. It's a map of the hotel, and with it, you have a coupon, and if you have the grand lunch and buffet, we credit the $10. So we think we're offering value. Come, you can tour the hotel, little map of the hotel, and you can get lunch, and it's a self-guided tour, $10. And it's never fails. There's a couple standing there, and they go, okay, we've got this. We handed them their ticket and their map, and they go, well, who gives the self-guided tour? Like, you give the self-guided, and I hate to say it, but in my mind, I'm like, they're not going to get a very good tour. I can see that coming. And then this is probably one of the most popular of all time, and this was a lovely lady, very dignified, came up, had her family, lovely family. They come up to the concierge desk, and she was very polite. She was working on things for her family to do while she says, one of the most important things, she says, I'd like to book one of the whale watching tours, of the Great Lakes out there. I said, excuse me? She says, well, I'd like to take a whale watching tour. And I said, man, there's no whales in the Great Lakes. And she goes, what happened? I said, well, the sharks got him. So that's probably my all-time favorite. Okay, one bad story. I'm gonna give you one bad story, and then I'm gonna answer a few of your questions, if you will. This is my second year. Management in second year, years ago, we had to wear tuxedos after 5 o'clock. Decked out, no matter what you were doing. And we were setting the theater, the big room that we would normally have this in if there was no COVID thing. So we're setting the room, there's 2 or 3 of us, and for a meeting early the following morning. And time passed. It's a huge room. We got to vacuum it, set the chairs, set the paper, pencil, mint, paper, pencil, mint, paper, pencil, mint for the next day's meeting. And it turned out about 2 o'clock. our tuxedos, going out to the bike rack, get our bike, go home, get a couple hours sleep, and be there for the early morning meeting. And there was a brand new, it was early in the season, brand new assistant manager, young guy. And he goes, I really need your help because I have a very delicate situation. I don't want to offend anybody. I said, well, what's going on? He goes, in the parlor and where the concierge desk is today, we used to have two old-fashioned phone booths with glass folding doors. And he goes, there's a couple that are celebrating each other in the phone booth. I said, excuse me. She says, well, there's a couple in there. They're celebrating each other in the phone booth. And I said, he goes, I just not sure the protocol here. I said, well, you have, if they're guests of the hotel, be very polite, but tell them they have to go through. He goes, oh, is there any way you could help me with this? I mean, he was really kind of upset by all. I said, sure, of course. So I go, and sure enough, that's what was going on there. And so I'm a good Lutheran, I'm not going to look. So I look away and I tap on the door and I hear the accordion door kind of open up and I go, I said, are you friends? I said, are you, guests of the hotel? And they said, yes, we are. I said, maybe you could take, this celebration up possibly to your room. And the guy goes, I'm so sorry. I know we're busted. He said, but I would like it noted that I am still wearing my necktie. And he was. He had no pants, but he was wearing his necktie. So that's the crazy fun story from the past. I always try to bring up one or two. I've got a few questions here that people have sent in to answer here. I'll do the best I can. When did the hotel first get electricity? We were piped for gas lighting when we were built. There was a little brick building behind the hotel where we made the gas for it. We somehow, and this is one of the things that really put us on the map. There was a scientific exposition outside the city of St. Louis, but in Missouri, some small town. And we purchased, after this exposition was over, an experimental electric generator. And it really was amazing. For as remote as we were, we could light about 8-9 lights on the front porch. The best I could tell, we had 2 chandeliers in the parlor. The 2 chandeliers in the parlor, which was our lobby at the time, were very dangerous. They were called gasoliers, and they had both gas and electricity, so you could switch over. If one didn't work, you switched to the other, which to me sounds really dangerous in a wood frame hotel. And let me just tell you that as remote as we were, people coming up here from the city, a couple nights on a steamship overnight and possibly on a train, to come into the Great Lakes at night and see this little island, it was the wilderness at that period, and see this white colonnaded mansion. If they came up at night, the Great Lakes was dark. There was campfires, Native Americans along the shore, candle maybe in the window of the modest cabins, a campfire or a bonfire, usually the fort had on weekends in the parade ground. And then you would see this white electrified colonnaded mansion in the wilderness. I mean, ships literally stopped out there. Native Americans paddled behind the island. They didn't understand the white fire that lit this hotel, nor could exist the following day. The island got generators right around the turn of the century, and then about 1913 they ran the first cables up underneath the lake. So the cables ran from the island over to St. Ignace, and then 52 miles north to the hydro plant up there. That's where the power comes from to this day. And it's been fairly reliable until 2001. We had a 2-week power outage when there was no power on the island. They brought in generators. Very few guests checked out. They were very patient with everything that we were doing. So we've had electricity for a long time, full time on the island, a little after the turn of the century. They had a question about the apartment of the governor. Since why did we have an apartment for the governor when the governor has a mansion here? Governor's mansion was built early on. A fellow donated it. He sold it for exactly the cost of building to the state of Michigan in 1948, and it's been the governor's summer residence up there ever since. Mr. Woodfill, we barely survived World War II, and he needed to get some free publicity. And I'm going to let you in a little secret on our history. We had flat out lied about every U.S. president coming here. None had come. We've had 5 come since, and that's if you can believe me, but we had none. In fact, we said every seated president had come to the hotel. In fact, there was a president that was dead the year we were built, and they said he came and enjoyed our amenities. So I don't know who our PR firm was, but they were pretty good back then. When he took over, he bought us out of bankruptcy in 1933. That's W. Stewart Woodfill. Came as a simple desk clerk, worked his way up to manager, part owner, sold out in 27. I believe he foresaw the Depression coming. We're going to be torn down in 33. The bankers ran us at a loss. We're going to be torn down. One bidder bought it back, and that was W. Stewart Woodfill. He had no money for advertising. So he said, we need a real U.S. president. Even if we invite them, we'll get some free publicity. So I just want you to put in perspective that the whole hotel was built in 93 days by 600 laborers making double wages. Woodfill had no money. Everybody wanted cash up front. The hotel owed everybody money. It took him 2 years to build those 2 suites. When he finished the governor's and the presidential suite, he didn't even have the money to furnish them. and no one would give him credit. The hotel was in such debt. He actually went to a little bank in Wisconsin, a little German Lutheran bank, and he asked to borrow money. They'd given him money when no one else would. They wouldn't give him money. And he took a piece of paper and he wrote out the furniture plan. And it was a list of furniture. It was kept in the little cubby hole with the pigeonhole with the keys for these 2 suites. And you pulled it out, and it was a list, very efficient, of where to take furniture from around the hotel, including his own couch from his house downtown. And we furnished it. When they checked out, turned the piece of paper over, and there was this very detailed list on how to put the furniture back, and 2 people would carry the couch downtown. Margaret Dowd. Margaret Dowd is our mayor. She's been consecutively reelected 44 times. And her mother, Jeanette Dowd, who lived to be in her 90s, always used to tell me, as a kid, she always knew somebody famous was coming to Grand Hotel because she'd see a couch heading from downtown up to the hotel. And she knew they checked out because the couch would be heading back downtown. Presidents and governors, even if they're not staying here, they utilize it. There'll be a lot of political events here, and their friends can come here. Several people, that probably technically with the Secret Service for the government should stay at the governor's residence, but they chose to stay here, and they stayed. And my favorite is Colin Powell. They had him all set to be at the governor's residence, and his wife said, "I want to be where that movie Somewhere in Time was filmed." So we've had it, we use it, we still utilize it, and it's open to everybody. You can rent it pretty much every night it's open. What goes on in closing the hotel? How long does it take? I mean, do you cover all the furniture? Well, there's a big one. We close the hotel just the way we open the hotel. We open the hotel in stages. There's 30 people, 40 people in the winter. We don't heat this place in the winter. A lot of people don't understand. We turn off the electricity, drain the pipes, let it freeze. There's a small staff here, security's here, maintenance is here, any big work we're doing during the winter. There's a small management staff that remains here, but it's pretty cold, desolate place. So we shut it down starting today. We'll start turning off electricity. The biggest thing, the longest thing is blowing out all the pipes, the irrigation systems, all the golf course, shutting everything down very slowly. We cover a lot of the furniture. We'll kind of group it in areas and put covers over it. A good percentage it goes out to be recovered in the winter as well. So that'll come back in the spring as well. So to answer your question, Exodus, the day we close, 300, 400, 500 people are going down to the boat. In fact, if you're walking down to the boat on closing morning, don't look behind you. It's very scary to see the crowd that's following you. And then there's maybe 200, and then down to 150, and then down, say, to 30, 40, 40. And the same thing from opening. It's opening's about 6 weeks as well. Starts out more and more. I come here about a month before we open the hotel to get it open. I always say it's like setting the stage. We don't sell rooms and food here. You guys have all taken my lectures. We sell a summer experience and a memory. So it's like putting on a play, and there's local theater and high school theater, and there's Broadway, and we're Broadway. So we're literally setting the stage and putting on our uniforms and getting the food and getting ready to open up and hopefully share a memorable experience or create a memorable experience for all you folks that have supported us all these years and all our new guests as well. What about gambling in the speakeasy? Hey, that's a whole nother lecture. You don't have that kind of time. I do 10 different lectures, and one of them's on gambling and liquor, and let's just call it like it is. Michigan had prohibition 3 years before the rest of the country. We started in 1917. We never had a dry day in this hotel, period. We're conveniently located just 52 miles from Canada. We had our own supply system of speedboats that came down and provided good quality Canadian liquor, log cabin liquor. As far as gambling, the hotel sold in 1918 to J. Logan Ballard of French Lick, Indiana, and he bought us to put in gambling. That's kind of what his family did. So he built a full speakeasy in the back of the house in 1919, had a secret entrance, a revolving wall with roulette wheels in it. We ran it, and we didn't run it. We leased it out. We were so afraid of organized crime. We kept it very low key, very safe for our guests, very profitable. It's the only reason we really survived, literally, the Depression and World War I was through gambling. We sold membership cards called the Grand Hotel Gaming Society, and with that came directions to what we refer to as the back of the house entertainment. We also had, one of my favorites is we had about a dozen radios throughout the hotel, and they were big console radios, but they were fake. They were actual nickel slot machines. You could open it up and screw a handle into the tuning dial and play. If the cops came, it folded it up, looked just kind of like a radio. It supported us. We had gambling and liquor. First, a group from Indiana ran it, and then a retired military medical doctor from the Lachino Islands ran it up till about World War II. Now, that's the unofficial answer. The official answer is we've never had gambling here. Gambling and liquor is illegal, and we're a 4-star family resort, and we will have no part of that. Next question. How are the buses doing? Mr. Bus is doing great. They're here on the island, a good part of the summer season. They have gotten into a new business. Dan Musser's wife, Marley Brown, the Browns were associated with the Arnold Ferry Line. Arnold Ferry Line's been in existence, continuously running longer than the hotel. It sold a few years ago to Starline, but they divided up the freight business. So a series of investors took and they kept the name Arnold for Arnold Freight, and Dan has now invested in that. Marley, his wife, is part of running it, and I'm just thrilled that this, this boat company, a ship company that's been related to that family so many years is now back in that family. So it's wonderful to see it. Again, Dan is contributing to the island and still part of the hotel as well. So we're glad he's here. We wish him well. But most importantly, we're glad all you guys are here and that you support us through this totally crazy time. Hopefully we'll get all this under control. We'll get back to not the new normal, but back to the normal, whatever the heck that was. I can still remember it, and open it up and run it. But in the meantime, we've done what we've had to do, and we thank you for trusting us. And we made this season, and we're going to be strong and ready to go for the following season. So again, thank you guys for coming, and have a wonderful winter, a safe winter. Do the right thing, and we'll see you guys in the spring. Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.